Welcome to another series of the Business Roundtable here at City College. I'm very happy and grateful to have a good friend of mine from many months back, Marion. And as you know, with the Business Roundtable, the whole purpose is to connect, inspire, and educate our listeners to let them know what's going on in the business community, not only in South Florida, but internationally as well. So I'll let Marion introduce himself. He comes to us with a vast array of experience and backgrounds. So share with the audience a little bit about yourself.
Thanks so much for the opportunity to be here. I grew up in Romania, in a country that we don't have a lot, but I have an ambition to become a businessman. I don't know that it's called businessman, that I want to become somebody who have in life whatever I want to buy, and to be able to afford things that are in the marketplace. So my goal was when I was 14 years old to become a leader in the community, and to also to expand me as a entrepreneur. I left my hometown when I was 14, and since then I become an entrepreneur. And I choose to become an entrepreneur because it's a choice. Everyone can choose to be an employer or to become an entrepreneur. I choose to become an entrepreneur, and I work for myself since I was 18. My first company, I start to sell small stuff like right now you can sell in internet. Back then was no internet. I'm talking about 1995, 1997. Okay. So was no internet, and we have to buy the stuff and sell it out of market, let's say door to door. And was out of rejection, and everyone said that I should quit. So I said I will never quit, because quitting is not an option for me.
Nice.
I have had the fortune to be in a family where I was encouraged to go on and never give up. My father was an entrepreneur, even though it was a communist country back then. He always tried to do some things that are out of the range of familiarity, and do something that make more money. So I grew up in that type of environment, entrepreneurship environment. I opened my first company when I was 18.
Wow, okay.
And when I was 21, I was fortunate to buy a factory in Romania, a steel factory. And I bought that factory because I was naive enough to buy a factory. Why I'm saying that is because it was a factory that has a value of, let's say, $20 million, and also the debt was about $40 million. So the debt was much bigger than asset. Nobody in the right mind to buy an asset that it's overpaid actually. So I bought that asset, and I turned around that particular company to an unicorn of the economy of Romania, and we become number one steel factory in Romania and number 3 in Europe. I had a lucky time back then, because I found great people in that particular company, and they need somebody to lead them. So I was more a leader for that particular business, and lead people to different markets, because the opportunities are in front of us. Sometimes we don't see much.
You make a good point. So when did you know the pivot? Because you've opened a number of different businesses. When did you know to move on to the next challenge?
I always, when I start a business, I give myself time. So in that particular business, I give 10 years of my life. When I bought it, when I was 21, when I sold it, I was 27. So I was less than 10 years that I give myself. And the reason that I sold it was that everyone was knocking to my door as an owner, asked me if I want to sell the business, because it was very interesting to many investors. And also, I attend to a school, in Harvard School, an executive course in 1990 and 2007. Okay. And I understand from Harvard professor that is going to be a financial crisis back then in 2007. So the first thing I went back to my house, and I decided that I'm going to sell my factory.
Okay.
To exit.
To exit. Okay.
2 years after that moment, we were in big recession, big depression, and I think was a lucky time, but also was guts to I feel the guts that I need to sell it. I need to do something else. And I think combination of listen to your heart, intuition, and look at the numbers in the economy, or look at what happened around you in the economy. I encourage everyone to read at least once a week, if not every day, New York Times or something, Financial Times, or something that connect you with the reality, what's going on in the world, what happened in your market. I believe that everyone could be an expert in a different field that you choose to be if you just dedicate 1 hour for that particular task.
What I like about your story, and it was engaging when I first met you, is that your ability to pivot and reinvent yourself. And I'll tell the audience a little bit about your capital fund and why you decided to start the capital fund and what kind of interest in businesses you look at.
First of all, when I come in the United States, I didn't start with a fund. In the United States, I started as an entrepreneur, so I learned from my failure. When I come in the United States in 2014, as an entrepreneur, I started my first company. I thought that I'm going to conquer the world. Fourth big failure, I invest almost $500,000 just in one business. I was all in, didn't work. The first lesson that I learned in the United States, you can have an amazing product, an amazing mindset, but if you don't have marketing, you are dead. So I encourage everyone to look for a market that you can market the product or the service. Because imagine Coca-Cola, it's a product and it's 99% of marketing, 1% product.
Right.
So I'm talking about a huge market in the United States. I never thought about I should put more money in the marketing side, not in the product side.
Okay.
So the next step I learned from that mistake, and I start a company in food delivery and healthy food delivery. So I created a startup called Tiger Food, and I created healthy food, and I delivered to Brickell area.
Okay.
In less than 6 months, we start from one customer and we become 1,350 customers a day. Everyone has a subscription and they have a bowl of salad with chicken, with avocado, with rice and
prepared meals.
Prepared meals and subscription. We guarantee that if you eat that particular salad, you lose weight. So you will know exactly how much calorie you eat. You know that you will have every day in lunch or dinner, you have a clear food, beautiful food you can enjoy, and you pay just $10.
Wow.
So everyone was, and most of the big companies and banks in Brickell area, they pay for their employees just to be healthy. I learned from that startup that if you build a product, good product, and marketing, because I learned from my first experience, then the success it's almost there. I moved to private equity and I moved to investment because there is a book that I recommend everyone to read. It's Rich Dad and Poor Dad, and that is simple book that it's saying if you are in the left part of the quadrant, you can get wonderful job, you can work for somebody, or you can be a professional in your field. And if you try to go from left to right, you'll get feel how to become an entrepreneur and how to become an investor.
Okay.
Always I was asking myself, what is exactly Warren Buffett? Is an investor or an entrepreneur? So what I want to be? I want to be an investor or an entrepreneur? I have been an investor. I know how I think as an investor, how as an entrepreneur. As I never thought about that I can be 100% just an investor. Okay. So I choose to be an investor and start financing or start investing in the company that has a mindset of building a company from zero to $1 billion.
Wow. Okay. So I would like to have you back to share more of your story, but we're going to wrap up the roundtable now. If there's one thing that you could tell the students and the faculty and everyone in the administrator, what would it be about your journey in entrepreneurship and some of the successes and failures? If it was just capsizing into one verse, so what would you give them? What was your biggest learning
And
experience?
the biggest learning is to don't listen to others, what they say. Listen to your heart, listen to your vision, how you see yourself in 20 years. Always ask myself when I wake up in the morning, I'm thankful for the day and what I'm going to be, who I'm going to be in 20 years from now, who I'm going to impact in the world. Because I learned from my mistakes that I should move forward. Doesn't matter if it's a moment that I lose money in the business, because business is sometimes lose money and also make money. So doesn't matter what happened in your life, you have to move forward. This is what I learned. To move forward doesn't matter what I have or who I am right now. I know that I can create a bright future by moving forward and then going after what I want.
Thank you very much for those words of wisdom. I'd like to wrap up the roundtable now, and just remember to stay inspired, stay connected, and stay educated.
Hungry.
Thank you very much. And hungry. I'm going to
See
add
you.
that from now on. Hungry. Thank you.